reality, forgiveness is a gift that you give yourself. It's a gift of empowerment. It's a gift of freedom.
Yes.
And,
yes.
So I am really consciously aware, and it's part of our profound formula for choosing love that comes from Jesse's chalkboard message. Healing literally means forgiveness. So we have courage plus gratitude being the great mind shifter. If you're in a situation, all of these tens of thousands of thoughts that we have on a daily basis, the majority which, by the way, are negative and repetitive.
Yes, very much.
You can't have two thoughts at once. So you can't have an angry, depressed, lower energy thought and a grateful thought at once. So a great way to shift your mind, and then you can forgive to take your personal power back. And then love is compassion in action. You use courage to enable you to step outside of your own pain and suffering or whatever you're going through, to look towards somebody else and to help them, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, I'm feeling good and I'm choosing love. You can take that personal power back as forgiveness. I don't know any other way to do it. And it is like a superpower, and it benefits you.
Yes.
And you're right, it is just a choice. I mean, you need to have the awareness that you can do it.
Yes.
And then it does become a practice, because just because you do it once doesn't mean that you're not going to fall back into anger at times. But you can just take a deep breath, take a step back, and you forgive again.
Yeah.
And you take your personal power back again. And it came at such a cost for me.
Sure.
And I live with that dichotomy every day. But I focus on honoring Jesse and the mission of literally making the world a better place. And I know that we can do it, but we all have to take responsibility for what's going on in our world.
That's right.
To be part of the solution. And I'll tell you this, the opposite of anxiety is action. So doing something.
That's right.
And people are constantly asking me, what can I do? And I say, help spread. The movement was created. It's completely apolitical. It doesn't matter what your views are on guns or no guns.
Right.
We're all united in the want and need to love and be loved. So it's a beautiful message to spread, and we need help doing it.
Yeah, and we can no longer languish in apathy, right? We can no longer languish in apathy. Part of the reason I started this podcast was to be the change that I wish to see. And you are absolutely embodying that. It's one of the greatest discoveries of my life, and I mean that, to discover your work and your mission. I so thank you, Scarlett. You are a hero beyond words. I hope that our listeners will go to your website to learn more, not just about your programs and initiatives, but I think to learn, because you've taught us so beautifully today about forgiveness and what it truly means to forgive, in a lot of respects. And there are many different ways of forgiveness, but I think what stands out to me today in your message about forgiveness is empathy. Empathy and yet freedom. You could empathize with the gunman, and in forgiving the gunman, you found freedom. The freedom to choose love, and this wonderful movement that you have.
Yes.
Well, I thank you, Scarlett, so much for this.
Thank you,
so
Leonard.
very much. And again, Scarlett's movement is the Choose Love movement. Scarlett, you want to give us your website one more time?
Sure. It's Jesse Lewis ChooseLove.org. So JESSELEWIS ChooseLove.org. Please visit us. Feel free to contact me, and let's choose love together and make the world a better place.
Thank you, Scarlett. Thank you so much for this. And I look forward. I look forward to following, to being in touch, to just carrying on your message, because I love the idea of being an advocate, and continuing on your social emotional learning program, and just continuing to be to being a part of the solution and not the problem ultimately.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you and your listeners for choosing love.
Thanks, Scarlett. My thanks to Scarlett Lewis and her powerfully transformative mission. June 30th will be Jesse's 12th birthday. They say there is no pain like the loss of a child, and here we find in Scarlett a superhero who has powered through the pain to choose love and forgiveness on the other side. Incredible and inspirational. My next guest, in talking about coming out clean on the other side, she has crawled through a river of crap to truly come out clean on the other side. She is a member of the Sunday Word Facebook community group. She is just a light. She is a wonderful light and a wonderful model of love for the Lord. And it is with an open heart that I welcome Felisa Hill to the program. I've gotten to know you quite a bit through the Facebook Sunday Word community group, and then we had a wonderful chance encounter there in Harrisburg. I'll talk about that in a bit. Just a wonderful memory that I have of you and us, and just one of the great memories actually of my life. So, but thank you.
I too.
Thank you so much for joining us, and you're a wonderful testament to what God can do. Your story, as I went through it in the debrief, is powerful. It's really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and one of the things that stood out to me was you lost your mother. I can't imagine this, your mother and your sister. And was it also your brother in a 2-year span, all three?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. And you lost mom and sister to cancer, and then brother to kidney failure.
Kidney failure.
Oh my goodness. How did you
And they were my anchors.
Wow.
I'm the youngest of 12.
Yes.
And they were my anchors. And when I lost them, I didn't grieve like I should have grieved.
Sure.
Because I was feeling guilty that I wasn't there.
And that's one of the things I saw in your debrief. You talked about that guilt, and that's a lot of loss in a 2-year period. I mean, that's a lot of loss. I'm just curious as to how you were able to come out of that situation. And I know, based on your debrief, it took some time for that to happen, because ultimately, their deaths led to your, if you will, sort of devolvement. But how were you able, even in that 2-year span, to withstand such great loss?
Well, Leonard, it didn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're talking back in 2006,
sure.
2007 and 8, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And my brother that's next to me, he died in my arms after I got married.
Oh.
So it was like, back-to-back darkness.
Yes.
And I didn't come out of that darkness or out of that deep water until like 2013, 14.
Wow.
So all those years, I was trying to stay afloat. And I reached out for this person, and they were broken. They was as broken as I was, which didn't work.
And this person,
and I held him responsible for not fixing me.
And this person being your husband at the time,
right? My husband,
right?
And he held me responsible for not fixing him. It wasn't until I wanted to commit suicide,
wow,
that I really leaned on the Lord.
Talk to me about that.
And he plucked me out of the hands of death.
Talk to me about that period where you were considering suicide, and what were those days and nights like for you?
They didn't exist. There weren't days. It was just darkness.
Just darkness.
There was no light. There was no feeling. There was no substance. Right.
I imagine you distanced yourself from your siblings, and any other family for that matter.
My mom was my force. My mom was out. She was everything I want to be. Okay. And I was in the process of work, and I had to maintain work because I had children.
Sure.
And I couldn't be there to help her do her doctor's appointments or bathe her or whatever. And I felt bad about it because I couldn't. It was like work demanded me more than my mother, and I felt guilty about that. Like I took work over my mom.
Yeah.
And when I found out she had passed, I was at work, which really made me go to the guilty side.
Gotcha. During this time, you're still married.
Yes.
I remember in your debrief that, you talked about how the marriage was crumbling. It was really a marriage that was sort of failing by the day. And you said something in your debrief that stood out to me, in that you said, we were really using each other. And I found that be, wow. And when you say using each other, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
A lot of times when people enter in relationships where there's not a basis for love, or there's God's not a part of, we're basically using each other for our own selfish purposes.
Yes.
And I wanted him to fix my brokenness. And he wanted me to fix his brokenness. But we're both broken, so we were incapable of doing such.
Wow.
So I felt angry. I felt angry most of the time because this man that I married couldn't fix me. And I can't say what he felt because I'm not in his mind.
Sure.
But what he was giving me was basically the same thing, that what purpose did I have in his life if I couldn't help him?
Right. Right.
So that's how our lifestyle was for many years.
Wow.
And that's a horrible way to live.
Horrible way to live. And how long were you married?
We got married in 2008, and I just divorced him this August 9th of 2018.
Wow. And one of the reasons that I brought you on is I remember your post in the Sunday Word Facebook community group, and you talked about forgiving him. And I guess now, as I've gotten to know more of your story, you've had to forgive yourself as well. First, right? You've had to forgive yourself and then him. Talk to me about...
And then him, yes.
And then him. Talk to me about both. How did you get to the place of being able to forgive yourself, and what did that feel like? And then ultimately onward to forgive him, and what that felt like.
Initially, I was going to forgive. Initially, I tried to forgive him. And then I sat back, and I sat back, and I take reflections upon myself daily. And I sat back, and I'm like, well, how can you forgive him when you were the catalyst in most of the stuff? You have ownership in that. It wasn't just him.
Right.
It was me too.
Yeah.
I had to take myself outside of it and say, you used him too.
Wow.
You might have hurt his feelings.
Totally.
So in order to forgive him, I had to forgive me.
Right.
And anything that I did to cause that person harm, because I was looking for something that they was incapable of giving me. So once I came to that point in my life where I understood that, I started mending. I started forgiving myself. I started asking the Lord for forgiveness and repentance for any actions that I did that was harmful, not only to him, but to myself and my family.
Yeah.
I was able to conquer that step. The next one was to go to him and apologize.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that we had this relationship we did, but we both were broken. And any harm that I caused you, please forgive me.
How did he receive it? Was he at a point?
He received it. He wasn't very happy about it because he knew that was the end of it.
Sure.
That there was no way that we were going to get back.
Sure.
So in the beginning, he didn't really receive it well. And then later on, he kind of understood. And he came back and said, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And to this day, he has not said he's sorry or forgive him.
Gotcha. But you know what's...
But it's okay.
But it's okay. That's right.
But it's okay.
That's right. It's okay. It's okay. That's right.
Because I wasn't asking for his forgiveness for real. I was asking the Lord to forgive me.
Right. Right. And you, as a result, are free. You know?
Exactly.
You are free as a result.
I'm free of that.
And you're so free.
I've been redeemed from all of that.
That's right. And you are so free that you have a big day coming up. Why don't you tell our listeners what that big day is?
You going to do that to me?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to celebrate in the Lord.
We're going to celebrate. I celebrate him every day. But I have April the 28th, I will be ordained as a deaconess.
Oh, wow.
Of my church, which is Greater Grace Church in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's an honor.
Yes, it is.
But Leonard, when I look back over all the things that have transpired in my past, he was manifesting those things to happen for me to get to this point where I am now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 1000%. And that's why, I know when I met you, and this is one of the great stories. I was in Harrisburg to star in a stage production, and I had gone into the fitness center. There's a fitness center right across from my room there in Harrisburg. And so I went in and, I thought I was doing something and with my routine. And then there you were, Felicia, and you were doing your thing as well. And then you looked over to me. Mind you, we had not said hello to each other. We hadn't said a word to each other, but just kind of shows you who you are and just your sense of humor, your love, your light. And you looked over, and I think I got off my reps, and you said, "Aren't you going to do one more?" I know you're going to do one more.
Right. Yes. If I can do one more, you can do one more.
That's right.
Yes.
And it was so awesome. I just cracked up, and then I found, and it was great because it actually inspired me, because I think I probably came in half stepping that day, to be truthful. And
you were.
And I don't like to half step.
And I'm sweating here,
and you're sweating.
And I'm like, how dare he?
And I don't like to half step anything. So it was one of those days where I said, man, I probably shouldn't have come today if I'm going to half step. But you were there to really inspire me. And then we met and that began, this friendship now that we have. And
yes.
God is good, man. God is so good.
He's amazing.
Yes. He's
amazing.
Yes.
And it was meant for you to come that day.
It was. Definitely let us know. Let me know how the big day goes. I'm looking forward to hearing.
Always. I'll drop some pictures.
Please do. Each week on Sunday Word, we have 3 songs to play to highlight our messages and to give weight and meaning to these messages while offering you a tunnel through the rest of your week as you sit with, reflect on, and flush out these messages in your life. The power of forgiveness. What a freedom just releasing from my heart, from my mind and soul. I forgive you. I Forgive You is a classic song originally recorded by the great Rochelle Farrell in early October of 2018. It was the final song I recorded on my eponymous album, Sunday Word. And what a process that was. It was certainly the most emotional song on the album for me. I think you'll hear that in the song. The song is called I Forgive You.
Doesn't really matter what
what you did anymore. Doesn't really matter what you did it for, or who you did it to. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. Totally, completely. What a freedom, just releasing from my heart, from my mind and soul. It doesn't really matter whether or not I understand. Doesn't really matter whether or not you're still my woman. I still love you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive. I forgive you. Totally, completely. What a freedom, just releasing from my heart, from my mind and soul. I no longer wanna hold on to that which doesn't make me strong. And I don't wanna care no more about what's right or wrong. Just wanna be whole again. Just wanna be free again. Wanna be me again. I just want to heal. So tired of being in pain. Tired of what we're going through. Gonna let it go today, so I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. Totally, completely. What a freedom, just releasing from my heart, from my mind and soul. Sunday Word is presented by It's My Party and I'll Dance If I Want To Zumbathon. It's a fundraiser for breast cancer and a birthday party for my wife, whose birthday is next Saturday. This is her fourth annual event. She does really a great job with this and bringing awareness to breast cancer and breast cancer survivors, of which she is, and as well as to survivors of cancer. The Zumbathon will take place next Saturday. If you're in South Jersey or an hour away, it will take place at the Hamilton Health and Fitness Center. That's 29 Washington Street, Hamilton, New Jersey, 08037. There will be door prizes, food, refreshments, Chinese auctions, and instructions. Donations will benefit the American Cancer Society, the Gildas Club of South Jersey, and the South Jersey Cancer Fund. Worthy cause. Come out and have a good time. Get your dance and get your fitness on. And also celebrate and bring awareness to a truly great cause. For more information, you can call 609-334-9331. It's time. We're going to get revived right here, right now. It is my hope that you can take this segment with you several days throughout your week. I promise you, your days and lives are about to get a little better.
Who's the person you have the hardest time forgiving? Some will think about false friends, bad bosses, exes, or family. But for some, I know the face that came to mind was your own. Maybe if I heard your story, I'd be able to reassure you that whatever happened wasn't your fault. Not all of it, anyway. But you're probably sure that I wouldn't, that I couldn't, that no one could. You might think you can find redemption by punishing yourself more. Because why? You haven't felt bad enough already? Redemption is already here. That's the message of Jesus, the message of the cross. Hear this word from Psalm 103. As far as east is from west, that's how far God has removed our sin from us. From east to west, from horizon to horizon. That's how far our sins, our mistakes, our flaws, and failures are from God's mind. So if that's true, why do we let them linger so close to ours? In this season of Easter, this season after the cross, I invite you to dive deeper into God's love and forgiveness. Take some time to read Luke 23 and 24 this week. I'm Joe Monahan, and you are listening to Sunday Word.
I invite you to close your eyes and focus on your breath. With each inhale, breathe in peace. With each exhale, breathe out any fear, doubt, or worry that you might be holding on to. Feel all tension melting away from your body. Every breath takes you into a deeper state of relaxation, a deeper state of peace. When you're ready, open your eyes. I'm Sumaya Wood, and you are listening to Sunday Word.
Here's song number 2 of your week. This was a song that debuted in last week's episode, and I absolutely love this song and decided to bring it back for this week. How many of you ask the Lord to speak to you?